Hey, it is the Fantasy NBA Today off-season style. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. Doc, what's up, dude? We made it. Regular season is over. Postseason is here. The fantasy season is over. What a year it was, dude. And we have so much to look forward to now. The play-in tournament starts on Tuesday. This weekend, we'll have the NBA playoffs. What's up, bro? Let's get to work.
Well, I did work at that Masters fantasy, the fantasy game that they had at the masters.com. I was in the top 1% out of 630,000 people. I had it might have been a perfect lineup. I'm not sure. They don't tell me exactly where I'm ranked, but I did really well and it was fun. I enjoyed the Masters.
You make some money?
I made money on Monday playing, or on Sunday night playing Golden Tee. That helped make up for some of my parlay losses lately. The
I
Masters thing was
understand.
mostly for fun. There's a $2,500 grand prize, but I'm not expecting to get an email from the Masters saying I won that. But I'm in the hunt.
I love it, dude. All right, so let's talk some hoops here. Doc, we have playing tournament in the playoffs right around the corner here. So let's talk about some key players to track. Um, and then we'll get into a play-in tournament preview here. We've got some ATS releases, some props, stuff like that. So Doc, fantasy basketball playoff breakouts. Okay, talk to me about three players. We can go one after the other. You can unpack all three here, whatever you want to do. But three players you're keeping a close eye on during the playoffs. Guys you think could break out and shape their fantasy value heading into next season with what they do here in the playoffs. Take us into this, man. What's up?
Well, a guy we've been talking about a lot over the last month is Davion Mitchell of the Heat. Um, in the last month of the season, the regular season, he was returning like seventh round value. And this is a guy that was easily available on waiver wires. Like nobody was drafting Davion Mitchell coming into the season. Nobody was picking him up really until towards the end, I don't think. But during that month of at the end of the season, he averaged 11 and a half points, 3 boards, 6 assists, 1.7 steals, and 1.3 3-pointers a game. He's shooting 50% from the floor and 79% from the foul line. He has sort of become the backbone of the Heat because he plays such good defense, and he's doing a good job of holding down the offense and running the show there. And they lost their star. Jimmy Butler's not there anymore. It's Andrew Wiggins, Bam Adebayo show now. And it seems to be working well for Davion. I don't know if you had Davion on your list, but I know you're a Davion guy now.
I don't have Davion on my list, but I love that call by you. I'll hit you with. I have a longer list than three. I don't know how far we'll get into this, but I want to hit you with $2, and I'll merge them together. Doc, Bobby Portis and Brooke Lopez. They're both free agents. That this is it. Okay, their contracts expire when their season ends here. So for Bobby, is he auditioning for other teams? Is Brooke Lopez auditioning for other teams? Or to stay with Milwaukee? And depending on how this series goes, Doc, like Milwaukee may be more open and motivated to make changes. Whereas if they win their first round series and Lopez and Portis play well, maybe they bring him back. So to me, like what Lopez and Portis do in these playoffs, and we have noticed a little bit, Doc, a little bit of dilapidation in game from Brooke Lopez. Like it's a slow descent, right? And the lines have been inconsistent, but you look at his overall numbers, they're still good. They're still Brooke Lopez numbers. But this year, it's like the inconsistency to me has spoken a little bit to age and gravity. And then you have Bobby Portis, Doc, who always goes off when Giannis is out, but is a terrific player. And they love him in Milwaukee. He's a champion up there. But Bobby is going to be looking for top dollar and maxing out exactly what he can make. I don't think he's giving anybody a hometown discount. So Bobby Portis and Brooke Lopez, Doc, I think can do a lot in these playoffs to determine their fantasy value next year.
Yeah. Brooke Lopez is interesting because I feel like he was very inconsistent this year, and I feel like he's one of those guys where he's kind of sucked for 3 games in a row, and you're like, man, do I have to cut Brooke Lopez? And then bam, 28 points, 5 threes, 3 blocks, 8 rebounds. You're like, no, I'm good. Brooke Lopez is fine. And it was just sort of that cycle all year of good and bad Brooke mixed together. So interesting. I didn't look at anything from the contracts, guys' contracts and what they're playing for this summer, but that's a good call by you on those guys. Another guy I think fits in this sequence is Matas Buzelis of the Bulls. He's in the play-in. 6th-round value over the last month of the season, 14 points, 5 boards, 2 assists, a steal, a block, 2 threes. But Buzelis has still never really popped. Like, we haven't seen that game from him that makes you just go, okay, this guy is going to be a fantasy star. He's just sort of like flying under the radar and putting up decent numbers. But does he have star power? Does he have that pop game in him? I think it would be useful and helpful for him if he did kind of pop in the playoffs at some point. But if he couldn't do it during the regular season, I don't know if he can do it in the playoffs.
It's all about minutes, man. It's all about minutes. I think a big part of that has been, let's take it easy on the young fellow. Let's not overload him with minutes and all this kind of stuff. As he spends this offseason getting stronger, more developed, earning the trust of his team more, I think his minutes will go up next year, and obviously the stats will follow. I love that call, Doc. All right. Where do I want to go here? Oh, yeah. Pardon me. Fred VanVleet. Doc, Fred VanVleet. A lot of options here. Houston can he can opt out and get extended by Houston, or Houston can just let him go. But I believe, and look, there are reports that there's mutual interest in Freddie V and the Rockets coming to an agreement this offseason and continuing this. But Doc, what if the Rockets lose to the Grizzlies or the Warriors in the first round? And what if VanVleet shoots 33% in that series? Will they be more motivated to get off of Freddie V and bring in some Reed Shepherd and create more space for Amen Thompson? I would be more inclined to let go of Fred VanVleet if I were Houston Brass, because I got guys waiting in the wings who are studs, who I drafted, who are ready to continue this this organic OKC-esque build. So to me, this is huge. And if Fred VanVleet, Doc, like if Houston doesn't want him, then he's going to want a job somewhere else. Guess what? Almost every team in the league has either a badass point guard or their point guard of the future. So Freddie V may find himself with very, very few teams that have a wide open point guard spot. So this is a huge playoff for Fred VanVleet, whether it's with Houston or another team.
Yeah, it's been an interesting rise and fall for Freddie VanVleet, man. He was in Toronto and he kind of quietly rose to the surface and became like this really reliable, fun fantasy sleeper that turned out to be a fantasy stud. Then he goes to Houston, where he's kind of looked at as the leader because he's a veteran there. But last year he was awesome. This year, especially down the stretch, man, those were some really bad games, some terrible shooting. Just when you guys needed him most, like he didn't show up. Very frustrating. So, yeah, hopefully it'll be very interesting to see where he lands next year, because I don't think he's going to be back in Houston. Another guy I've got on my list, too bad Aaron Brewski is not here, but Keon Ellis, 6th round value over the last month, 9 points, 3 boards, 2 assists, 2 steals, a block, 1 3-pointer, 51% shooting, 82% free throw. Like 9 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists. That's kind of gross. That's not good. Then the 2 steals and the 1 block and the 1 3, that's all good. But can you even use that when you combine it with 9 points, 3 boards, 2 assists. Brew will argue that you can all day long. I'm just not so sure. Malik Monk got hurt at the end of the year. That really that helped keep Keon in the starting lineup. I'm interested to see how the Kings do in the play-in. They're going to have to go through Golden State one way or the other. That's not good. I don't think this is going to end well for them. But Keon Ellis, love him or hate him, he's always worth keeping an eye on.
Pardon me. In terms of Keon and the low PRA, I'm more with Brew. In a points league, I'm not messing with Keon Ellis. In a points league. In a category league, I'm messing with Keon Ellis. Because in a category league, it's all about fantasy goal, block, steals, threes. They literally determine almost every week that you will ever play if you want to win. And like really want to win. Not like half-assing it. But Keon Ellis, as long as he's getting 30 minutes a game, I rock with Keon Ellis. The steals, blocks, and threes are tremendous from that dude. So, Doc, and everybody, we were talking about some fantasy basketball playoff breakouts. These are players to keep your eye on. These are players that we think could break out or at least in some way shape or help to shape, whether it's hurting or helping their fantasy value heading into next season. Where do I want to go here? I want to hit you with Naz Reid, Doc. And there is a very contractual feel to my takes here. He's going to opt out of his contract, Doc. He's going to opt out of his contract. And I look, there's reports that the Wolves want him back. They just gave Rudy Gobert more money. Like, I thought that was weird. Why not let Rudy's contract expire and age out, and then you just go with Naz here? But I don't know if Naz Reid is going to be back. I would like to see Naz Reid unleashed as the starting center for a team in the NBA or power forward, as opposed to being the backup to Julius Randle and Rudy Gobert, which even if they bring him back, let's say it's 3 years and $90 million, right? Huge raise. He's at about 13, 14, 15 right now. 3 years, 90 mil, get him up to 30 million a year. He's still going to be a bench player. So I got Naz Reid, Doc. Based on that, I mean, this is the bag summer for Naz Reid. And whether it comes from Minnesota, whether it comes from another team, if he goes out there and kills it, cha-ching, I think he's going to cash in even if he has like a bad series against the Lakers, because he's Naz Reid and he's got a lot of good stuff on the resume. But it's a big playoff for him. We could be talking about Naz Reid, Doc, as like, I don't know, like a top 5 round pick next year. Like you got to get him in the first 5 rounds depending on his situation. But I think Naz Reid is one of these guys this year.
Yeah, and I mean, I think I'm not alone in wishing that Naz Reid played somewhere else, because almost any other, I mean, he should be a starting power forward in the NBA, and it's kind of sad that he's not. And who was the power forward that played for the Hawks and the Jazz? He was always stuck behind Carlos Boozer. Paul Millsap. Like, Naz Reid reminds me of Paul Millsap, because Paul Millsap was buried behind Boozer, and all the fantasy heads were like, "Let Millsap play. He's a better player." And it took like 5 years, but he finally broke through, became a starter, and the rest is history. But I feel like Naz Reid is the same guy. I mean, if he lands in the right situation, he's going to be. Like, if he goes somewhere where they say he's going to be our starting power forward, I mean, I would venture to say he's like 3rd or 4th round guy. So
He might be. I love the Millsap comparison to Naz Reid. Millsap, if memory serves, was a 2nd round pick, and if memory serves, Naz Reid was either a 2nd round pick or undrafted. But I know that Naz Reid was not a 1st round pick, and I'm 99% sure that Millsap was a 2nd round pick, if not undrafted. Who else is on your list, brother?
I've got 2 more guys, and they're on the same team, so I'm just going to drop their names out there right now. Santi Aldama, your guy. Scottie Pippen Jr., our guy. The fact that Pippen was able to produce while John Morant was balling out and having the best week of his career is pretty exciting stuff. And I feel like Scottie Pippen is sort of like Paul Millsap and Nas Reed. Like, let this guy have a job and play somewhere, because I think he's special. I think he's very, very good. And I think he's just being stifled and buried in Memphis, which stinks. You know, I don't like it. And then Santi Aldama is also that same sort of guy. Like, there's a lot of teams in the league where Santi Aldama might be a starter. And I think he's got starters game. He basically plays starters minutes in Memphis, but he's got Jaren Jackson Jr. and other guys in his way, blocking his path to full success. So free Santi, free Scotty. Memphis is gonna be fun to watch in the play-in. And if I had to pick in the West, I think I mean, Memphis and Golden State look like the two best teams to me.
Interesting. I'll hit you with one more guy, Doc. I got a couple guys on here, but they're it's flimsy. This is not Russell Westbrook. Russell Westbrook, Doc. A lot of uncertainty about him now that Michael Malone is out. Michael Malone was a Westbrook guy. We spotted this immediately. It helped us help you tell you to go get Russell Westbrook, because Malone loves him and he's going to play him. And he did. And it's one of the reasons that he got fired, because, of course, he's playing him over Jalen Pickett, which the Cronkies just have to see, and all this bull crap. So I won't dredge all that up. But Westbrook will not be a Nugget next year. I think that's very, very, very clear. And so Russ is back here in audition mode, Doc. And, you know, Russ is, fortunately for him, positioned beautifully here with a playoff series against his former team, the LA Clippers. What? Go get him, young fella. And so, you know, I'm a big Westbrook guy. Look, he's not going to be a starter next year. He's not. But I like that he's doing the Vince Carter thing, where you prolong your career by willingly and productively coming off of the bench. And you're not hung up on role and status and ego and all of that. He'd already be out of the league. Russ would already be out of the league had he done all that stuff. But he hasn't. He's a good every teammate he's ever had loves him, except these wussies in Denver that are complaining reportedly about Michael Malone gave him preferential treatment. Man, sit your ass down. Russell Westbrook is the king of triple doubles. He's on the Mount Rushmore of stat guys in league history with Will fucking Chamberlain, and he's one of the greatest players of all time. And your coach wants to maybe, I don't know what Malone was doing, but if you're Michael Porter Jr., if you're Jamal Murray, if you're one of these guys, maybe even Aaron Gordon, and you're pissed off because Michael Malone is treating Russell Westbrook a little differently than he's treated. First of all, he's in his 30s, bro. Maybe he needs to practice less. That sounds like some wussification bullcrap to me, that you're complaining about Russell Westbrook and preferential treatment. I'm off my soapbox, Doc. But this is a huge playoff for Russell Westbrook as I view it.
It is, but are they going to play him? I mean, I think I don't know, man. I don't know that you can trust Westbrook right now, because I just don't think they want to give him the minutes. And the fact that his name is being dragged around as the reason that Michael Malone got fired isn't going to help things either, because now everybody in Denver is like walking on pins and needles and being super careful around him and talking about it, and elephant in the room kind of stuff. Yeah. You know, it's like not good.
It is, but this isn't like it. Just to clean it up a little bit, Doc, I know exactly what you're saying, but for some people, they may be thinking like, did Doc just call Russ a coach killer? No, Russ did not get Michael Malone fired. Michael Malone's treatment of Russ reportedly is one of the and the other thing, dude, Michael Porter Jr. is right in the middle of all this, Doc. I believe Michael Malone wanted to trade him. Calvin Booth might have even wanted to trade him, but the Kroenke family was like, over our dead body, are you trading Michael Porter Jr.? Now you have a rift. And so if they love Michael Porter Jr. that much, then guess what, Doc? Then that means that they will listen to anything that he says. And what he says is gospel. And what the other guy in his side of the story says doesn't matter to them because they're Michael Porter Jr. guys. So yeah, that it's all politics and interpersonal bullcrap out there in Denver. And I'm anti-Denver. I actually want the Clippers to win this series, Doc. I do. I'm anti-Denver because of the Michael Malone thing. I love me some Jokic, right? Love me some Jokic, but I gotta cheer against them. I'll be cheering against Golden State, Doc, in the play-in tournament game against Memphis. Why? Steve Kerr's rotations. I ain't going for that, dude. I ain't going for that. So speaking of Doc, let's get into. Unless you had anybody else on your fantasy basketball playoff breakout list, we can get into the play-in tournament games, dude.
Yeah, let's do that.
All right, so let's start with Atlanta at Orlando. Atlanta, the 8 seed, Orlando, the 7 seed. Orlando's a 5.5-point favorite. Doc, take me into. Let's do ATS now, and then let's do prop bet. So, do you have? And we'll go game by game. Do you have a take on this game against the spread?
What did you say the spread was?
I said 5.5. Now I'm on DraftKings. It's 5. So it was 4.5, then 5.5. Now it's 5. So it's Orlando minus 5.
Yeah, that's at Orlando.
Yep.
That's tough, man. Orlando's just sneaky good. They were really good. I felt like the first half of the season. Second half of the season, when they got Franz back, it didn't feel like they were as good. They were kind of boring, and you and I decided we couldn't deal with any Magic players not named Franz or help me.
Paulo.
Line. Paulo. And I really like Trey. I like the new Trey Young mixed in with Dyson Daniels and the other guys. I wish Jalen Johnson was healthy. I guess I'm going to go with Orlando at home minus the points.
Yeah. That is my pick as well. I like Orlando minus the points, Doc. I feel like this is going to be like a culture game. Orlando has a culture. They have a defensive rooted culture. Atlanta doesn't have a culture. They've got some talented players. They're kind of like retooling on the fly here. This odd mix of a Kongwu and Risache and Young and Daniels. I don't know. They're just kind of a team. Do you know what I mean? Like there's really not a lot to get excited about. Like, are they going a long playoff run? No. I'd say the same about Orlando. But for this game right here, I like Orlando. Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, they can put him on Trey Young, pack a lunch. Paulo Banchero and Franz Wagner are a legit duo. The Hawks don't have a duo. They have Trey Young and they have, a Kongwu and Daniels are their second and third best players. Not necessarily in that order. And home court advantage for Orlando. So I like Orlando minus 5. Also in the East, Doc, you have the 10th seeded Miami Heat at the 9th seeded Chicago Bulls. The Bulls right now, it was 1.5. It has changed. The Bulls are now a 1-point favorite as money, a little bit of money, maybe a lot of bit of money, has changed the line by 0.5 point. And now Miami is in I think a good position here. My pick on Miami and Chicago is Miami. And I like the Heat. I'll take that point. I will take that precious little point with the Miami Heat here because of Davion Mitchell. Doc, I am making a prediction on a play-in tournament game because of the presence of Davion Mitchell. Wow, right? He's come a long way. I'm not talking about Hero, Bam, Giddey, Vucevic. I'm focused on one matchup, Doc. I'm focused on Davion Mitchell and Kobe White. And he is going to take a bite out of Kobe White. And that's why Miami will win. And that's why Chicago is going to lose. The Bulls they're going to need to have scoring from elsewhere. Can Giddey, have a monster game at that point? Herter, Vooch, Patrick Williams, all these guys. I just don't see it. I don't see it, Doc. And I like, Miami's got a decent little core four right now with Bam, Hero, Khalil Ware, and Andrew Wiggins. They're all healthy. They're all playing well. And so give me some Miami plus the point in the 9-10 game. Who you like in that one?
Well, Bam and Hero had great seasons and finished up strong down the stretch when Wiggins was in and out. Khalil Ware has been fun. And then, I talked about Davion Mitchell as a guy to watch in the playoffs. And he is a guard stopper. He shuts down the opposing guy. And that guy's Donovan Mitchell. And or not Donovan Mitchell, my God, that's Cleveland. He's gonna stop Josh Giddey. He's gonna be all over Kobe White. Whichever guy they tell him to guard, he's gonna guard and slow down. So I'm excited to see that. I'm not a Heat guy, but Davion has he's kind of made me into a mini Heat fan, which I'm shocked at because I always rip on the Heat. Like I don't watch the Heat; they're boring. But Jimmy's gone, Davion's there, and the thing about Davion Mitchell is 3 years ago, when he was a backup to Tyrese Halliburton, everybody was like, free Davion. I want to see Davion Mitchell play because I thought he was going to be really good. He's really not anything special offensively, but man, he knows how to shut somebody down, and they're going to stick him on Kobe White. And if Kobe White can't score, I don't think the Bulls could win. So I'm going Heat.
All right, we're in lockstep on both of these. Hopefully we have some disagreements as we continue here. It's the Fantasy NBA today. We're looking ahead at the play-in tournament games. Rick Kamla and Hall of Famer Steve Alexander. In the West, Doc, huge game. 8-seeded Memphis at 7-seeded Golden State. A trip out of the play-in tournament and to the playoffs is on the line here. Who do you like? And it is 6.5. Let me see if that line has changed. And it has. It's now 7 for Golden State, Doc. Golden State -7, says DraftKings. Where are you at with State and Memphis?
Money line, I'm going Warriors. Actually, I'm going Warriors both. Warriors are going to win this game. I think they're going to win by at least 10. Steph Curry, Draymond Green. The Grizzlies just don't have any playoff experience. This game is on the road. It's at Golden State. Grizzlies haven't, lost their coach. They've got Andre's guy is now their coach. And I just don't know if Memphis is a good team. Desmond Bane, Jaren Jackson, Ja Morant. Like there's a lot of stuff there. They should be able to beat this Warriors team, which is lacking. But I just think Curry and Draymond are just gonna go out there and give them the old I don't know what the word I'm looking for is, but they're gonna get it done. So I'm going Warriors against my better judgment, probably.
Ooh, I like it. We have a disagreement. Ding, ding, ding. I will take the points with the Memphis Grizzlies. I believe that the Golden State Warriors are overrated. I believe they showed that to us a little bit yesterday. Clippers went in there and beat them. Harden flirted with a 40-point triple-double. They're overrated to me, man. I don't like Kuminga's role on that team. Moses Moody is offensively way up and down. Love how Podziemski's playing. Steph is Steph. But it comes down to Jimmy Butler. To me, it's all talk, no action right now. He talks the talk. Back it up, dude. Walk the walk. And, he hasn't really done that yet. He has with vibe, with intangibles, like his addition to the team's rejuvenated Steph and Draymond. You and I have totally noticed that. They just look different on the court. But still, you get these go through the mode. Like, what is Jimmy Butler going to do? Is he going to be like, this is my house, this is my, and all that kind of stuff? Or is he just going to be like emo Jimmy Butler? I don't know. I got to fade it. I'm not a Jimmy Butler guy right now. He has gone from, I was a big fan of his to now, he ain't my guy anymore, man, because he's gone all Hollywood. He's soft. I don't like guys that go Hollywood and get soft and think they're hot.
You're not,
you know what?
You're not scared of playoff Jimmy?
I'm not. He's going to have to come get me back. He's going to have to grab me by the shirt and like yank me in. So check this out, Doc. What point did I want to make here? I will take the 7 points with Memphis. Doc, I think Golden State wins the game, but I'm going to play the middle here. That's a big old point spread to me.
It is.
Is this a coin flip? No. I thought yesterday's game was a coin flip, Doc, the Clippers and Warriors game. I was on VSiN and I said, I'll take the points with the Clippers here, man. So I got that one right. So I'm already in a good way fading Golden State. 7 points? Nah. I think this is going to be a great game. Down to the wire. Guys playing great. I think this is going to be fireworks. This is by far the best play-in tournament game. That we know. Obviously, there will be games after this, but Memphis and Golden State, it's a rivalry. They've played in the playoffs before. These teams don't like each other very much. So there you go. I like Golden State to win and Memphis to cover. So let's move on here, Doc.
Well, Andre's providing a tiebreaker. He says he's going with Warriors because of coaching experience, and he trusts Jimmy and Curry to deliver. But then right after that, he said, yeah, I like the Grizz +7. So apparently he's not breaking a tie. He's just as confused as we are.
Well, no, I think what he's saying is he's with me. He thinks the Warriors will win, but he likes the Grizzlies plus the points. That's what I read there.
Right.
Is that I don't know, but I'm
well, at the very beginning of that, I said money line. I would take the Warriors, but with the points, I would take the Grizzlies.
There you go.
Then I changed it and said I'm taking Warriors both. So,
is that your final answer?
It is, but I don't like it, and I don't trust Jimmy. I don't trust Jimmy Butler, man.
I can't wait, dude. Memphis, please take a bite out of Jimmy Butler, dude. I want a 5 of 15 from Jimmy Butler so bad, Doc. I'm telling you right now, and I want to dance on that grave. I just want to like do like the Gopher and Caddyshack dance on that grave, dude. I'm just not into it, dude. I'm not into it. I don't like fake dudes. I don't like wishy-washy dudes, man. And Jimmy is all of that right now.
The loser of that game lives to play another day, right?
Correct. So if Golden State wins, they're the 7 seed. They will play the Rockets. If and then the Grizzlies in that scenario would then play the winner of the 9-10 game. And then that winner gets the 8th seed. That's the play-in tournament.
How long have we been doing the play-in? Is this like the 3rd year of play-in?
Feels like about the 5th or 6th year, actually.
You think at some point I would get a grasp on exactly how that works, but the fantasy season ends and I'm like, check out, I'm gone. So I just sit back and watch I would just love watching the playoffs for fun.
Wait a second. Now Andre's on the Warriors -7. He said Wells is down. Grizzlies have no one to guard on the perimeter. I mean, it is a hit defensively, but wow. Andre pivoted. He's now on the Warriors -7. I will I guess boldly take the Grizzlies +7.
I don't think I'm betting on that game.
I have a Hard Rock account now, Doc. I've been too busy to bet. I literally have. I've been too busy to bet like at the end of the regular season because we were doing props and all that kind of stuff. It's not like I'm afraid to monetize our analysis here. It's been busy, man. But now that the fantasy basketball season is over, Doc, I do have 10 baseball teams to manage, and I have to manicure those yards every day. But I'm probably going to be on Memphis. Dude, at this point, I'm going to wait because the line keeps going up. Is this a Tuesday game or a Wednesday game?
That is Tuesday.
Tuesday. Okay. By the
Tonight.
time 10 o'clock
Tonight.
Eastern time on Tuesday night, by the time that game goes off, Golden State might be -9. Do you agree with that or disagree with that?
I doubt it gets that high, but what's it at right now?
7. It's already gone up. I think it started at 5.5. Maybe Andre can tell me that. I thought it started at 5.5, went to 6.5, now it's at 7. So
I
there you go.
don't know that it'll get higher than 8.
Give me those 8 points, man. Come on. Let's go, Grizzlies. Put that in Steve Kerr's pipe so we can smoke it. All right, Doc. We have one more game here. 10th-seeded Dallas at 9th-seeded Sacramento. Tricky game, Doc. And you have, what's the spread on this one? 5. These lines are moving, baby. Sacramento's -5. I looked at it this morning. They were -4.5. So money coming in on the Kingies. Who you got?
Kings are at home, but the Kings are bad, man. 40 wins, and you've got all those guys. I just the DeMar DeRozan thing, sticking him in the middle of that with Zach LaVine and Domantas Sabonis, it's just not working. I don't think anybody's scared of the Kings. And the Mavericks, like, they're out there just running around with a bunch of guys not named Luka and Anthony Davis. But they somehow hung in the playoff race, made this happen. Dallas fans deserve a break, man. They deserve something good to happen to their team. I'm going with the Mavericks.
Again, we have a disagreement. Doc, the Suns made this happen. The Suns.
Coach Bud.
Coach Bud
made this happen.
Okay. The Dallas did not win anything. Phoenix sucked Dallas into the play-in tournament. Okay. And Doc, you know, I agree with, like, Mavs fans deserve nice things. They do. You know, they were in the finals last year, and that's probably great. But they just lost their boy, Luka. They're going to be heartbroken about this for years and years and years. So Doc, I gotta bring the curse of the Luke Bino into this thing. The curse of the Bambino, the curse of Luka. I merged the two.
Pretty cool. Being compared to Babe Ruth, that's pretty cool.
The curse of the Luke Bino.
You heard kids say that, right?
I did. I thought that was pretty cool. I was like, hey, Jason, I've been saying that, bro, over here. Rick Kamla.
No, he thought it was cool, though. He thought it was cool that they were comparing that trade to the Babe Ruth trade.
No, I'm a Kidd fan, man. I like Jason Kidd. I'm not crazy about all of his rotation decisions, but I'm a fan. But Doc, so the curse. Do you agree with me that the Mavericks are cursed?
I mean, they cursed themselves, but yeah, I mean, they're. Dude, the more I think about bringing Luka back to Dallas and rolling out the shirts and the celebration and the video, the more I don't understand what the goal, like, what a weird scene and what
surreal,
bizarre thing to do, and to make him cry like that and be like, "We love you so much, Luka." Well, if you love me, why am I not here? This doesn't make any sense. Anyway, yeah, they are cursed, but I just don't trust the Kings, man.
I get it, dude. Like I said, this is a tricky one. I probably will not have money on this one, but I like the Sacramento Kings. Just literally, because the Mavericks are cursed. And so something's going to happen, right? I mean, I don't want anybody to get hurt. I'm not trying to put any of that on anybody. Anthony Davis blew a tire in his first game in a Mavericks uniform. Kyrie Irving, just chilling, like, loved Luka. They loved each other. It was a great combination. And just over here, a bystander, and he got, like, clipped by a car. like, and then he's out, right? I mean, the curse, this team is cursed, man. This team is cursed. And so I'm going to play the curse card right here. And that, I know it's weird, it's cryptic, and you can't really quantify it, but with numbers and trends and stats, sometimes you got to gut it up. And on a game like this, who's going to win the Kings and Mavericks game? I don't freaking know. I literally don't freaking know. Okay. Antonio Daniels told me, he's like, Cam, it's okay to say I don't know. And so I don't say it very often. I usually have a very good handle on my thoughts and opinions, but I literally don't know. Mavs Kings, they're two, frankly, pretty lousy teams. So I'll go with the team that's not cursed. Hey, there's an idea. So I got the Kings minus the 5.
I really wanted you to go into Shaq right there and say, I don't know who's going to win. But I couldn't get you there without interrupting you.
My boy Cam is confused. He doesn't know who's going to win. Let me tell you something. Always bet against the Queens.
Remember Shaq always used to call him the Queens when he was a Laker? So Shaq could be like,
you got to play the Mavericks, Cam. Cam, sorry. Because you can't bet on the Queens. You can't. The Queens suck. Chris Webber sucks. Vlade Divac sucks. White Chocolate sucks. They all suck. They're the Queens. Over to you, Doc.
White Chocolate sucks. Oh, my God.
Okay. All right, let's do some props,
funny,
dude. Let's do some props. It's Rick Kamla. It's Hall of Famer Steve Alexander with the Fantasy NBA today. Let's get into some props, bro. Who you got in these 4 play-in tournament games for some proppies?
You know, I don't. When I was doing my research last night, I was having trouble finding props. What I did come up with was the Bulls plus 50,000 to win the East. $50,000, bro. They have Josh Giddey. They have Kobe White. They have Vooch.
I literally can't. I can't.
Plus 50,000. I'll throw $10 on that.
Dude, it
$10
could be,
on the Bulls to win the East.
It could be $1 million. It could be $1 million. You bet $1 and you have a chance to win $1 million on the Chicago Bulls to win the East. And I would not spend that $1.
You'd save the dollar. You'd
$1 to win. And I'm not cheap. I'm just saying there is no chance. Absolutely no chance. But I love it, Doc. You are, dude, you're out there, man. You're on Planet Doc, and I like it.
What do you have? What is your prop?
So I don't have the Doc's getting testy with me because I'm busting his.
I'm not testing at all. No, dude,
all right.
It's you might as well spend that money on playing the lottery.
Good point. The Powerball.
You're
or
right.
Something like that. All right, Doc. You tell me. I want to. I'll tell you, and then you tell me if you agree. I just want to look up a stat really quickly here. Bang. It's exactly what I wanted to see. I am on a Zach Edey thing, Doc. I like Zach Edey to have a big game against Golden State. Golden State, who do they even start? Who is their starting? They go
Curry, Moody, Poge,
BP, and then Draymond and Butler, right?
Yeah.
Like, you want to talk about a small lineup. I'm going to take Zach Edey, dude. I think he's going to flex. And you remember, he had that little thing with Draymond, tried to bully him. And Zach Edey was like, F you, buddy. And, like, I pushed him or something, but stood his ground, right? So, let's go. Draymond, bring that smoke to Zach Edey. Because that large Canadian's going to bust your ass, dude. Zach Edey, Doc, his point props at 8.5. His rebound props at 10.5. I think he's going to have a double-double against the Golden State Warriors, Doc. You've seen the numbers. He's been at 19 boards, 17 boards, 15 boards, 13 boards. Like, he's been shredding the glass lately. And so I like both of them, dude. I like the over on his point prop. I like the over on his rebound prop.
Okay. I can get down with that. It's just which Zach Edey's going to show up. You know, it's
I don't think we need to
there are
worry
times
about
where
that
he just
anymore because
completely
Izalo
disappears.
trusts him and plays him.
All right. Well, I've got one for you here that's not as insane as Chicago
Let me
Bulls
just
plus
let me make one more
50,000.
point on Zach Edey. Doc, I'm sorry,
Please,
let me make
please
one more
do.
point here.
Please
So
do.
his numbers against Golden State this year, Zach Edey, in 25 minutes, he averaged 9.3 points and 9.8 rebounds. And that's in 4 games. He started 3 of those games, but that's with the weird minutes and some of the games probably early in the year. So that's encouraging to me because that doesn't tell the story about who Edey is right now. But straight up with the Warriors, he's at 9 and 10, which is right at these numbers. So I'm on Edey, dude. So who else you got? Who you got?
Andre said that Curry may hunt down Edey and get him into foul trouble, which I think that's a valid concern. But if Edey was able to average 9 and 9 against the Warriors this year, I would hope that he can do that in playoffs in one game. So the guy with the highest point prop on the board is Paolo Banchero, 29.5. That is a big number. He averaged 25.9 points a game this season. But he's also scored at least 31 points every time he's played the Hawks this year, 3 times. So that's a close one. 29.5 is a lot. I think I would go under on Paulo scoring 30 points because if he scored at least 31 in 3 straight games against the Hawks this year, you would hope that they would be focused on slowing Banchero down. Like either let Banchero beat us and shut everybody else down, or we've got to slow Banchero down. I don't know which way they're going to go there. They got to find somebody to guard Paolo Banchero. I'm going to go under 29.5.
I like it, Doc. That's a stay away from me. It's too rich. There's no value in it. There's value if you like the under, but then you got to fade Paulo in a great matchup for Paulo. And I don't personally don't feel comfortable with that. But I wish you luck with that. But that is if you said you got to play one side. I'm a Paulo guy. I'd probably play the over. If you back me up against a wall, and I know he's clutch, he rises to the occasion. I'm not trying to, sully your pick here, Doc. If I had to play it, I'd take the over, but it's a stay away from me for all the reasons that you said. It's a big number. Doc, I'm on the under for Kobe White.
I knew that's where we're going.
Ooh, 22 and a half, Dr. A, and I'm under on that. And I love Kobe White, but dude, he's got off night on him. Davion Mitchell, baby. I will fade Kobe White and I will go under 22 and a half.
Yeah. I mean, we kind of talked about that already. That Davion, all he does is stop the opposing scoring guard. So he's going to be draped on Kobe White like stink on you know what. So I think that's a pretty good call. Ja Morant's points are at 26.5. I don't think anybody in Golden State can really guard him. I kind of like Ja to score 30 in this game. I think Ja has to score 30 if they're going to win. I'm going Ja Morant over 26.5.
Doc, I like that, but I have such a like me and Ja are in the middle of a divorce right now, right? Like the divorce is actually final. Like I'm never going to draft him again. I'm mad at him for having Taylor Jenkins whacked. And he could, probably will go over 26 and a half. I just don't trust Ja. Do you know what I mean? I like that where I'm jammed up. I'm too subjective on Ja Morant right now, Doc. Does that make sense? Like, we're paid to be objective, numbers, analysis, no fanboy. This is what's going to happen as we see it. I'm a little, because I've been so close to it, I'm just too subjective on Ja Morant right now. Next year, it'll be different. I'll be cleansed. I'll be free from the torture chamber that is managing Ja Morant in fantasy basketball leagues, and I'll be able to just objectively analyze what's going on. Unfortunately, I can't do that right now. So knock yourself out with the Ja Morant over prop. I don't disagree with it, though. I don't dislike it.
Speaking of being all jammed up, my computer is all jammed up. I got a spinning circle. It's not doing anything. I'm surprised I'm still on the video feed here.
You're buffering.
Weird.
Well, we're almost done here.
What else you got? What other props you got?
All right, I'm gonna hit them to you. I got 3 more. I got Tyler Hero over 24.5. He's playing great. He's their number one. I like Tyler Hero in big games. He does not hide from the smoke. He runs to the smoke. And I just don't think Chicago has a guy to guard him. And I think Tyler Hero is going to have some freedom and have some leash and have a big game. So I do like Tyler Hero over 24.5. I also like DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine, Doc, over 24.5, because I got to play both. If you go the over on DeRozan and don't play LaVine, let's say DeRozan has 24 points, LaVine has 29. Dang it, why didn't I play both? So I think both of them are going to fire above this number as the by far number 1 and 2 options for Sacramento right now. I mean, clearly you have Domantas Sabonis. He's the best player. But in terms of shot volume, DeRozan and LaVine are just getting them up and pumping in the points right now, especially without Malik Monk. So I like both of those guys. They're at home. Dallas is not a great defensive team. So I'll go over on DeRozan, LaVine, and Tyler Hero all at 24.5 points.
Wow. Back to Ja Morant, Rick, did you remember how hot he was for the last 10 days? Like, you were like, he's on the best tear of his life. Like, that dude is on fire right now. He should be incredibly healthy because he hasn't played that much the last 2 years. So I think Ja's going to go crazy. I love your Tyler Hero pick. I don't think they have anybody who can stop him. And then the last one, I cannot get on board with DeMar DeRozan and Zach LaVine. One's going to go off, one's not. You're gonna break even and lose the juice. I'm not going there.
The juice is paltry. It's paltry juice. I'm okay. I'll risk the juice here to double bang the cursed. That don't forget they're cursed. Okay, don't forget that they are cursed, and so that should lead to an extra point or two from LaVine and DeRozan and help them hit the overs. Doc, I'm out of content. I don't know about you. You got any more content for the people?
I think we've covered it. I think we've hit it. Dude, I can't believe it's here already. I kind of like the fact that the season ends on Sunday.
And now it's just me. All right. Well, I'm glad the buffering allowed Doc to make it all the way to the end of the episode here. And we have reached the end of the episode. Couple of reminders for you guys. Go to your favorite app store and download the Sports Ethos app. Do it now. It's free for you and me. And it's got the blurbs you need for basketball, MLB, NFL. Also, go to sportsethos.com. Check out our work. I've got a brand new article out there right now. Dynasty, buy low, sell high. Terrific stuff about 15, 17 guys or something to help you with off-season trades. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel, the Sports Ethos, the Fantasy NBA Today YouTube channel. Please subscribe. We'd appreciate that. And check out my NBA show. It's out there right now online. And check out my WNBA show that we unveiled today. It is WNBA draft day today. I'll be watching the draft tonight. So be on the lookout for that at Ethos Fantasy NBA Today. And in terms of the YouTube channels, the Fantasy WNBA Today YouTube channel, subscribe to it. And then the Fantasy NBA Today YouTube channel, go ahead and subscribe to that as well. And we would greatly appreciate that. And the YouTube channel is just Sports Ethos. And those are the podcast feeds. So shout out to Andre Lemus. Shout out to Dr. A and all of you for watching. Good luck in your investment decisions here heading into the play-in tournament. We will see you very, very soon here on the Fantasy NBA Today